You know that feeling, right? Staring at a trade that's deep in the red, and you just feel that pit in your stomach. Well, today, we're going to dive into a really powerful mental model for handling exactly that. This isn't about market analysis, it's a total psychological hack called the heavy bag strategy. So, to get started, I've got a simple question for you. I want you to forget the charts, forget the tickers for a second. Just think about this. How heavy is a glass of water? The thing is, the actual weight, the ounces, it doesn't really matter. The real answer is it all depends on how long you hold it. And that little twist right there, that tells us everything we need to know about the psychology of a losing trade. Okay, let's break this down with what we're going to call the glass of water test. It's an incredible way to understand how our minds deal with the stress of a loss over time. So imagine you pick up that glass. For the first minute, you barely even notice it's there. It feels light, totally manageable. It is absolutely no problem at all. But what happens if you keep holding it for an hour? I mean, the weight of the glass hasn't changed one bit. But your perception of it? Oh, that has. Your shoulder starts to burn, your arm aches. That same light glass now feels like a serious, heavy burden. Now let's just push it to the extreme. What if you held it for an entire day? Your arm would go completely numb. It would feel paralyzed, totally useless. The weight becomes so unbearable you can't think about anything else, and you're pretty much incapable of taking action. I want you to remember that feeling, that paralysis. So how in the world does this connect to trading? Well, this brings us right to the idea of a heavy bag. It's a perfect name for the psychological weight we carry when we're stuck in a bad trade. So a heavy bag is that losing stock you just can't bring yourself to sell. And here's the crucial part. It doesn't matter if you're down $100 or 1,000. The real damage, the real weight, comes from how long you let that worry drag you down. Just like holding that glass of water. All right, let's connect the dots and make this crystal clear. We're going to map that physical feeling of holding the glass directly onto the emotional roller coaster of holding a losing trade. Look at how perfectly this lines up. For a minute, a small loss is nothing, right? It's just that light glass. But you let it go for an hour, now your arm aches. That's the stress, the constant chart checking, pulling out your phone every 5 minutes. Sound familiar? And if you let it go for a whole day, your arm feels paralyzed, you're emotionally drained, you're fixated on that one red number, and you're just completely unable to make a clear-headed decision. In that final stage, that paralysis, that's the real trap. This is where holding on to a heavy bag goes from being uncomfortable to being genuinely dangerous to your trading account. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? When you obsess over that red number, you lose all objectivity. You're not analyzing the market anymore, you're just feeling the weight. And that paralysis, it stops you from seeing new opportunities. And even worse, it stops you from making the rational call to just cut the loss and move on. So, what's the solution when your arm is paralyzed from holding a glass? It's painfully simple. You put the glass down. The exact same logic applies here. The fix isn't some complex new trading strategy. It's a simple, deliberate action. So here are 3 super actionable steps to put the glass down. First, and this is huge, set your stop loss before you even get into a trade. That's you deciding ahead of time when you're going to drop the weight. Second, physically step away from the screen. Go on, get up. Give your mind a break from the noise. And third, keep your mind fresh. Go for a walk, listen to some music, do literally anything else to hit the reset button on your emotions. And this is really the whole point. Look, losses are just a part of the game. You're never going to avoid them completely, but you can absolutely control how much you let them weigh you down. The goal isn't to never pick up the glass, it's knowing when it's time to put it down. So, as we wrap this up, I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. In your portfolio, maybe in your work, or even just in your life, what glass are you still holding?